I hear footsteps. Next thing, there's a weight on the bed, on the other side of the bed. And I remember I looked down and I saw blood.
How did you feel? Were you not in pain?
One day I wake up, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. I cannot move my legs. I nearly lost a parent to that. And I rush home and I see them almost lifeless. I could not wake up. Depression hit me, and it hit me hard to a point where I was having suicidal ideations again.
Good day to you, and thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of I've Been Through the Most podcast.
Right. Yo, Millicent, it's been such a beautiful journey to
You saying yo before we even get anywhere.
Let me tell you, because when we received the email from this guest, immediately I was attracted to her. One, I love the fact that she was a medical student. And two, I love the fact that she went through so much, but she's here to share her story. She sounds great, but her story is even more interesting. But before that, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video, make sure you help us get to 200k subscribers here on YouTube. Remember, we're also on Spotify
as well as Apple Podcasts, so make sure you also go and sign up and follow on those platforms to make sure you don't miss out on any episode right here on Centtwinz TV. Today we have a beautiful lady in studio with a gorgeous smile. Rochelle, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Can you tell us why you're here?
I am here because, well, I've been and have overcome the most. I really believe that it is through the grace of God that I'm able to sit here before you and testify. I suppose I can call it a testimony.
It is a testimony.
It's a testimony. So, brief background. Let's start from the beginning. I am 24 years old. I am a medical student. I am in my 4th year of my studies. Supposed to be in my 5th, but due to going through the most, I fell a year behind. But I'm picking myself up and I'm moving on from there.
Good for you. Good for you.
Nice.
So let's start in the beginning. I know
Yes.
there are a couple of events that did happen in your life,
Yes.
but let's start in the beginning, as
The
you put it.
beginning.
What was
Yes.
the root of everything transpiring to where you are now?
So the beginning, I would take it to my childhood, being raised in a household that, yes, it was a 2-parent household, but the relationship and the marriage was not the healthiest. I always used to say that, look, my dad as a dad was perfect, but as a husband, not so much. So I did not have a good example of what that was. And I didn't realize that it affected me to a point where I kind of needed a male figure in my life to show me that kind of love that I did not see being shown to my mom.
Deep.
And that inevitably, not taking the blame on me, but I believe that it put me in a situation where I ended up being raped. It happened in 2020. I grew up in a Christian household. I told myself, look, I'm going to save myself for marriage. There's no need to rush anything. I'm okay. I'm good. I only started dating in matric for 3 years. I told myself long haul. We're doing this. And in those 3 years, it really was just exploring other aspects of a relationship, communication, bonding, and all of that. And that did not work out. The relationship ended because we weren't headed in the same direction. And so I started taking up a hobby. This was around COVID time. When the rules were easing. I started taking up several hobbies, and in the one hobby, I then met a family, very, very kind family, and not knowing that the main person in that family was after something else. Not just teaching me this hobby, not just edifying me or growing me in a way, but after me. So
what is this hobby, if I may ask?
This hobby is horse riding.
Oh. fancy hobby.
I love horses. And so it just so happened that taking up this hobby, I'm learning the skill, and this male would then he would move from, okay, what are you doing? What are you studying? Oh, okay, that's nice. That's interesting. Let's incorporate this. Let's see what we can do. To more so, are you dating? Are you in a relationship? Have you ever done the deed? And questions like that for me, I thought, males will be males, hardy har har. It was said and asked in such a way where you would not suspect that there was anything to it.
But he was insinuating something clearly.
Yes. And then it happened then that we would be out, or as a family now, it's a family friend, we would be out doing something, and then hand signs would start being shown. Ones that as children, when you see, you're like, oh my goodness, this is what they mean. When with the one hand, you'd make like a hole or a tunnel, and then with the other hand, you'd insert your index finger. Things like that were being made. And I felt uncomfortable.
So sexual connotations.
Yes, to them. It really did allude to that. But at the time, again, I didn't think much of it. Family friend, I felt safe. And to that degree, I felt that love-ish that I never saw in the marriage at home. So when the rape happened, inevitably, I thought it was my fault.
How did the rape happen?
So
where were you guys?
Funny story. We were actually out. We were planning an event.
Okay.
Right? A group event, team building. And it was a whole team of us. It was a whole family of us. And so we had to sleep in a central place so that we could wake up in the morning, 5 a.m., go where we had to go, prepare what we had to prepare, and then the event would then be successful. So we each had our own rooms. And at around 1:45 a.m., I'm a very light sleeper, and I'm an early bird.
You are.
I am an early
me
bird.
at like 3:30 a.m.
I wake up so early.
You're like,
but
I'm finishing off my devotion, then I'm gonna make my way there. Why? So are you not gonna go back to sleep? Like,
once I'm up, I'm up. I'm an early bird. So
Sure.
at around 1:45 a.m., I then hear my door creaking open. And I'm thinking, okay, no, this is not it. It's probably just the wind, something, So I close my eyes. Then I hear footsteps. It's wooden floors. I hear footsteps. And I look towards the door and I see him entering. And I'm thinking, no, man, probably just want something. Maybe they left something in the rooms when we were organizing ourselves, Next thing, there's a weight on the bed, on the other side of the bed. Then it hit me that, oh no. All the hand signals, all the things he was alluding to, all the connotations, this is what was supposed to happen in his head. And the fact that maybe I did not say no, maybe he thought,
you're giving him permission.
yeah, maybe she does want it. I did not have a full set of pajamas, so I was just wearing an oversized t-shirt and that's it, and my underwear. Next thing, I feel hands caressing my thighs, and I'm thinking, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. I don't know if I should scream. I don't know if I should yell. I don't know what to do. He's playing music. He walked in playing a song, a certain song. And then after that, when he felt that I wasn't wearing any pants, he then giggles. Then he pins me, because now all he had to do was just lift the shirt. Then he pins me, arms, my wrists put together, holds them with the one hand, and then my legs, he opens them and then pins them with his knees.
Sure.
What are you saying to him at the time? Or you just traumatized?
I'm frozen.
And just like, yeah.
What is going on? This is not happening to me. It cannot be happening to me.
He's not saying anything either. He's just like on a mission.
He says, shh, relax. The more you relax, the less it will hurt. And I'm thinking, okay, there's just nothing I can do. I sort of tried to close my legs, but the way I was pinned down, there was nothing that I could do. So I close my eyes. He does what he does. I cry. And then after that, he finishes. He finishes, rolls to the other side of the bed and sleeps like a baby.
Next to you?
Next to
so
me.
He stayed
Like,
the night.
Like the night.
Just to make you feel like this is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong happened
Not
here.
even the night. He left. Before everyone got up, he then left. Went back to his room.
How did you feel? Were you not in pain?
I was in excruciating pain. I remember I looked down and I saw blood. And then it hit me that, oh yeah, virgin. So I tap him and I say, I'm bleeding. He giggles. He stands up, gets a towel, gives it to me, and goes back to sleep. Now I take the towel, I go to the bathroom, I dampen it, and I try to put it in such a way where at least the burning, the pain is going to stop. The blood is going to stop. Something has to happen. I was so traumatized.
How old were you at the time?
I was 21.
Yo.
I was so proud of myself because I thought I got to 21 and I am still whole. Oh my goodness, my parents are going to be so proud when they find out. And then when that happened, it absolutely broke me. My mental health declined immensely, to a point where at one moment I found myself crying on the kitchen floor, asking my mom to get me a psychologist. And she thought, it was fine. You know, it's just the struggles of life. You're growing.
I mean, did anyone know what happened?
I did not tell anyone.
You woke up in the morning, continued with life as if everything was
usual.
okay, as usual, nothing changed, business of the day.
Yeah. I did not say a word. I did not
Did
whisper a
you
word
speak to
anyone.
him on that day?
I did not say a thing. I was mute that entire day. I think I was still processing what had happened.
And when you got home, you didn't tell your parents either.
I was so scared that they wouldn't believe me. Because this is someone who is esteemed. This is someone who does community work.
Someone who's trusted.
Someone
by the
who's
family.
very trusted. Not just by my family, by people as a whole in general. How do I then say this happened? I really thought they wouldn't believe me. How do you start telling your parents that this is what happened?
Yes.
Especially knowing that you're coming from a home where already things are rough between the parents. Who's gonna
and
blame
you already
who?
feel like it's your fault. You
Yes.
carry the shame, the blame.
For
So
a
it
very
really
long time.
does take a lot of courage to be able to open up about something like that. Especially when you're a virgin. Now you're like, okay, I did it. So you're dealing with, I did it, There's just, it's a lot. Okay, so what happened then after? Because from that incident, so many more things just followed you.
It spiraled. I wasn't even aware that my mental health was spiraling downwards. For me, I was still normal. I was
You
God's
thought you
strongest
were
soldier.
soldier.
I really thought I was God's strongest soldier. I'm like, I can handle this. I'm not the only one. It's fine. People have been through this. I'm gonna get through this myself. So I carried on with school until one day I wake up, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. I cannot move my legs. I call a friend. He comes quickly, and I'm at res at this time. He comes quickly. We call the ambulance. We go to the hospital, and then that was that. They couldn't find what the problem was until one particular doctor then said, okay, if this is not physical, it's gonna be mental, psychological. Did something happen to you? And I said yes. And then I asked him, look, please test for everything. Bloods, because I never went to the hospital after that. I told him test for everything. And he did, and then he asked why, and I told him, and he said, okay, but we have to tell your parents now. I cried. I said, I can't. And he said, you don't have to, I'll do it. And he went outside to the waiting area. He told my parents. They walked in, and I cried for the first time.
Yeah,
I
let it out.
You could deal with the pain that you've been carrying for so long.
Yeah.
Yes. My mom cried, and she said, look, I did not want you to go through this. This is too much. The first words my dad said to me was, I believe you. We believe you. You didn't have to carry
So
this
they
on your
knew
own.
it was at this point.
They didn't.
Oh,
They
No, they
asked
still
me.
don't know.
they just know that you're raped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't know who.
I said, look, I can't tell you now.
Do they know now?
They're gonna know now.
Why?
I
Why
was
do you?
ready- I'm ready
Why?
now.
Why is it a secret for you? What are you protecting him from?
I don't know why I felt the need to protect him and his identity.
Are you scared of him?
I was. He's a man with a temper.
Okay.
With a temper of note. And because he was so esteemed and because I was part of the family and I led everything forward, being the female and the horses and the... I felt like, okay, this is going to go sideways. And then he told his son and people that I seduced him. That is why I ended up leaving the family and the team. And yeah, the
Sure.
paralysis happened. Then I went to counseling. That is when, only then, was it then exposed and told to me that, look, you were raped. That is the first time I could actually say, what?
It clicked.
It clicked. That me? So it wasn't my fault. It took a year and a half at least for me to be able to say I was raped. I used to say I was assaulted, an incident
Anything to
happened.
hide.
Just try to,
Yeah,
it mustn't
cover
be
it up a
that
little bit. It can't
bad.
be rape. Me? No way. It and then I dealt with it, still dealing with it.
How did you deal with it? Did you go to a psychiatric ward?
Yes, I went to I was admitted because after that, with the whole kitchen incident, I was like, look, mom, I can't. I need to see a psychologist. They booked me to go see my dad's psychologist. And then I went to the mental health clinic, to her offices. I didn't even speak about it. I just thought it was everything happening at home, the toxicity at home.
Yes.
So I spoke about that only. And she said, no, it's fine. What are you busy with? I'm studying. Okay, we can't admit you yet, but maybe when you are on holiday. And I looked at her and I said, it has to happen this
No.
week.
You
I'm not
could
leaving.
feel.
Yeah.
How did you feel
Sure.
at that moment? What was going on in your head? Did you
was-
feel like you're losing it?
I was suicidal.
Okay.
For me to get to that point of asking to see a psychologist, I was then putting two and two together of if I take this with this and that, I could end my life and no one would know. It would be as though I died in my sleep.
That's bad.
I was that suicidal. And when I told her this, she said, okay, yeah, no, leave school for a minute. We are admitting you. We are going to deal with whatever it is that's happening. And we kind of dealt with home. Oh, but school is stressful, home is stressful, everything is stressful.
It's a lot.
For 2 weeks. Only in the final week, during conversation, when she was now asking me to reflect on what I've learned,
You mentioned
I
this.
mentioned it in passing.
Passing.
In passing.
Because it's always been there at the
At
back.
the back of my
But
head.
but it's difficult to attach yourself to that situation.
It was.
It's like
You
not
had to
me.
remove yourself.
Exactly. You're like, no, it's not me. So even then you still like, and then this happened, like done.
Yes. Yes. And then she said, Rochelle, you were raped. And then she gave me the rest of the day to digest it. And then we started working on healing from the trauma of rape specifically. And then I got somewhere. I got somewhere. It still spiraled after that because, healing is not linear.
Yeah.
It comes in waves. I tried to put myself in situations where I would be raped again so that at least this time I can fight. At least this time someone would go to prison.
Yeah,
Because you wanted to redeem that moment
Yes.
somehow.
Somehow I wanted to have control.
Oh.
So that happened. And then, that passed. My parents now knew about it. We carried on with life. Everything at home seemed to be going fine and well. And then it wasn't again with my parents' very toxic relationship. And things spiraled. and I nearly lost one of them due to mental health struggles. The same way that I was going to lose my life, I nearly lost a parent to that. And at the time, I was at res. And my sibling calls me crying and says, look, this is happening to our parent.
Sure.
And I rush home and I see them almost lifeless.
Oh no.
I had to be strong.
But I'm sure that shattered you.
It shattered me to
Is
the
that
core.
what affected your school
My
progress?
academics?
Yeah.
Yes. Because after that, I could not visit my parent anymore. In the hospital, when they were recovering, I thought, look, I can't see them like this.
It was
I
too
can't
much for
see the
you.
tubes down the nose and down the throat. I cannot.
And
I-
also the reason why they're there as well
Yes.
affects you, because you now understand what mental health is.
Is.
And you know, for you to try and take your own life, it means you have had enough of some sort of
Yes.
it was just too much.
It was way
so
too
you
much.
get
for me.
it and you're like,
It's a lot. It almost happened, and almost in the same way that I was thinking of doing it to myself. Now here they are.
Yeah. And then what happened after?
And then they recovered. I never did.
Goodness.
Academically, mental health wise, I never did. I could not then be an early bird anymore. I could not wake up. Depression hit me, and it hit me hard to a point where I was having suicidal ideations again. And then I called the university psychiatrist, and she said, look, we have to admit you. This was close to the end of the year, close to exam season. And I knew
This
that
is last year.
This is last year. And I knew that, okay, I have to write exams, but not now. We made the arrangements with the lecturers and went to the mental health clinic for about a week and a half. It wasn't long. Where then she had to snap me back to reality that,
Yes.
girl, I know everything happened. I know you've been through a lot, but you need to focus.
Yes.
You need to get through just this last stride, just this last lap. That's it. And I did. And as I was supposed to go and write my exams, one lecturer said, no, you're not writing. That's just it. You have to repeat the year.
sure.
I was mad. Not just that the lecturer was mad at life. I was mad at my parents. I was mad at me. I was mad at the rapist. I was mad at God. Because I'm like, you let this happen.
Because also with the financial implications of repeating a
A
year,
year.
it's just like
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Also, medicine is already so long.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, if you want me to repeat, I'm going to be here for almost a decade.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, I'm not struggling academically. You know, I'm an A student. How is it now going to look? How do you go from being an A student to repeating a year? Make it make sense. Then only then the people's opinions and what they would think of me started hitting, which then affected me again.
Ooh.
I hid this year. It's only now that I'm saying it out loud that, okay, I had to repeat a year.
Yes.
I'm repeating a year because of this and
Yo,
this
I'm
and
sure you
this
felt
and
like
that.
hiding under a rock.
I have been hiding. I have
I know
literally
the
been hiding.
feeling.
I've only been attending what I have to attend. I haven't been socializing with anyone. My friends who are my friends from my group, my class, I have not been seeing them. I haven't been talking to them. I've just been alone, focusing on me and my academics.
Yeah. Well, now they're like watching.
Now they're watching, and now they know.
So, and I think it takes so much strength for you to even speak about it openly, because I think that alone takes so much strength.
Yeah.
But also I think it will give you also more courage to just be you. Like, this is what it is.
Take
This
your
is what
life
it is.
back.
Take your life
Yeah.
back. I mean, we're more than halfway through the year, so well done. You're almost done. You're doing well. I think that's something to be celebrated, you know. And I think the most important thing, especially when dealing with very difficult situations, you have to literally put one foot after the other.
Yeah.
It's
Just like that.
Just like that. And then you celebrate even the small achievements.
Yes.
so that you're able, like the Bible says, like count your blessings,
Yes.
because we're so easy to count the things that go wrong.
Yes.
That when the good things
things
happen,
come.
we don't
It's
see
like,
it.
you
It's
don't
like
see it happening.
yeah.
We don't see it happening, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I thought, you know what, God, I'm just gonna take a leap of faith, of courage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm going to speak about my story. I am going to be
part of
honest
the
with
healing.
everything that
Yeah.
I've been through. Yes, it's part of the healing, and it's also
Acceptance.
acceptance. And I read a quote that said, I don't want to be on the other end of someone else's breakthrough.
Ooh.
And I thought, maybe by not
Come
putting
on.
myself out there, I'm on the other end of someone else's breakthrough. Someone needs to break
to
through.
hear this.
Someone
Got this,
needs
girl.
to heal.
Yeah, someone else can't go through what you went through.
Exactly.
They need to immediately take that control that you never had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is
Awesome.
why I'm
What a
here.
beautiful
I have
story.
been through and have overcome
The most.
Yeah. I love it.
Wow.
Any last remarks from you? What are you doing now? What do you need help with? And how can someone help you? You've helped someone and so many other people. But
yes.
how can we be a helping hand to your destiny and your future, and hopefully
Yes.
one day come to your practice, and be
Please,
like, girl, you remember you came to, I've been through the most,
The whole hospital, not just the practice. God, straight from my mouth to God's ears. Right now, I need help with funding because of repeating the year. I lost my funding, so it has been very hard. It has been very difficult for my parents because we're barely making ends meet.
So you were studying with a bursary.
I was on a bursary.
Okay,
I was
so
on a bursary.
obviously when you fail, you
The
lose the
bursary pulled
bursary.
out. Yes.
So who paid this year? What happened?
Faith. No one
Sure.
paid. My fees are still outstanding. And that's the disadvantage of studying, is the fact that for this year everything is going to be fine until I have to register next year.
Again. Yeah.
Then they're going to remind me of, but you owe us, so you can't register. So right now I am running a campaign on Back a Buddy where I'm trying to raise at least half of what I need for my academics.
Yes. Yeah.
Then we can pay that, and then it's going to be easier for me. I'm obviously going to reapply for bursaries because I'm doing much better this year.
Good.
Nice
So,
one.
but they're not going to pay what's outstanding from
Outstanding,
this
yeah.
year. So
Okay.
the goal is to get what's outstanding from this year paid off, and then we can move on and finish the studies. So I would appreciate help from anyone and everyone to just go on the campaign, the Back a Buddy campaign,
Is
and
it like a
donate whatever they
crowdfanding
can.
thing?
It's a crowdfunding.
Okay.
Yes. So
All
it's
right.
very
Awesome.
transparent.
We'll share all those
Everyone
The
details.
link
Yes.
on the description
Yes.
box.
But I hope that you have drawn so much strength and courage to be able to go and take charge of your life. Remember to go and join the crowdfunding strategy that she has.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that she gets her degree eventually.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really, really appreciate it and wish you nothing but the best in your healing process, in your educational process. Go on, Kenji.
Thank you
Everything.
for
Continue
having
testifying.
me. I will. And then we'll have our hospital.
Absolutely. Amen. Well, for myself, Millicent,
And myself, Innocent.
and our lovely guest, Rochelle, it's bye for now.